So Cheyrl Reeve has been suspended. Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheyrl Reeve has been suspended. The news came out that Cheyrl Reeve has been suspended for Game 4. So yesterday, Cheyrl Reeve had a crash out to end all crashs. We have Cheyrl Reeves calling for Cathy Engelberg's job just like us fans have been doing all year. Chev, did you just crash out last night? Did you chasing down referees? Everybody got to hold you back. 2 minutes ago, just moments ago, the WNBA dropped a bomb. Cheyrl Reeves suspended after going head-to-head with the referees. Fans of Caitlin Clark are stunned and the entire league is buzzing with shockwaves. Oh, calls for some accountability and it gets you suspended. This league is something else, folks. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. This supposed professional league, professional sports league. Cheyrl Reeve was suspended after she chased a referee, squared up to him, and had to be dragged away while screaming at the officials and fans. Her actions included yelling obscenities as she stormed off the court, which immediately led to disciplinary action. So Cheyrl Reeve got suspended is suspended for Game 4. The Minnesota Lynx may be mentally in Cancun already. They may be absolutely in Cancun, but the fact is that they're never gonna, do anything about it. Cheyrl Reeve, I mean, this is what Cheyrl did to the fans. During her outburst, Cheyrl Reeve even went as far as calling for WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert to be fired, saying the referees were unfit for the job. This public clash against league leadership shocked many and fueled the suspension decision. We now have head coaches calling for the WNBA commissioner's job. We have Cheyrl Reeves calling for Cathy Engelberg's job just like us fans have been doing all year. All year we've been saying this lady need to go. She need to be fired. We were saying it last year. The WNBA announced that Reeves' conduct included aggressively pursuing and verbally abusing a game official, refusing to leave the court in time, and making inappropriate comments toward fans after being ejected. Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheyrl Reeve has been suspended. Oh, calls for some accountability and it gets you suspended. This league is something else, folks. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this supposed professional league, professional sports league. According to the league's statement, Reeves' suspension came from a series of violations, chasing referees, shouting at fans, and blasting officials in the press conference. These combined actions forced the WNBA to act. Reeve will serve suspension during Sunday's Game 4 of their semifinal series in Phoenix. Here are a list of things that they used to gather why they are going to suspend her. And we're going to get into the BS of this whole thing, which is ultimately Cathy Engelberg. That's really what it is. It says Reeves' conduct and comments include aggressively pursuing and verbally abusing a game official. In Phoenix, Reeve crashed out by chasing down referees and lashing out at the fans. The scene was chaotic with players and staff having to hold her back from further confrontation. Chevro, did you just crash out last night? Did you chasing down referees? Everybody got to hold you back. You're going at the fans now in Phoenix blowing a gasket. Let's keep it all the way real. You're complaining now. Now you want Cathy gone, and for some reason this is what the league wants. And we said all this last season. Video shows Reeves storming onto the floor already with a technical foul and continuing to scream at referees until she was physically dragged away by players and assistants. Her aggressive chase left no option but an ejection and suspension. We've got this right here, this play. So basically coming into the play, Fee dribbles the ball with her left hand and you can see right here. Alyssa Thomas clean steal. And in real time, I think you can make, ironically, I think Fee failed Alyssa Thomas more than Liz Thomas fell. I think it's a foul, in real time. It did not look anything like a foul. Reports confirm Reeve was suspended for Game 4 following her heated conduct. The announcement highlighted her verbal abuse of referees and fans, which overshadowed the actual playoff game. Reeve will serve suspension during Sunday's Game 4 of their semifinal series in Phoenix. Failure to leave the court in a timely manner upon her ejection. Inappropriate comments made to fans while exiting the court. Remarks made in a post-game press conference. These things combined are the reason in which she is being suspended. The league emphasized that Cheyrl Reeve's actions, including her on-court explosion and comments afterward, were unacceptable for a professional coach. This made her suspension one of the most talked about controversies of the playoffs. It was announced today by the WNBA. Her conduct and comments included aggressively pursuing and verbally abusing a game official on the court. One could say what CER went through at times with Thomas was abused, but ooh-ho, did I say that out loud? Failure to leave the court in a timely manner upon her ejection with 8 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. Inappropriate comments made to fans when exiting the court. Here's my biggest issue. Some argued that Reeve's suspension was too light. Critics pointed out that in the NBA, a coach who squared up with referees and cursed at fans would face a much harsher punishment, possibly half a season. This is the most deserved suspension. This is the most earned suspension. If anything else, a one-game suspension is the most minor thing that could happen. Everyone being like, this is ridiculous. No wonder people don't take NBA serious. If this happened in the NBA, they'd be suspended half a season. Could you imagine somebody running onto the floor in an NBA game, a coach squaring up to a referee? Fans and players blasted the referees as not qualified to even be referees. They connected Reeve's suspension to ongoing issues with officiating that had already left Caitlin Clark and others unprotected from dangerous fouls. Because your refs don't call anything. Your refs are not qualified to even be referees. I mean, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So at what point do you fix it? At what point do you fix it? Because now some of the best coaches in the league are calling for you to be fired. The WNBA stated that Reeve would serve her one-game suspension during the semifinal matchup. They also find her assistant coaches adding more frustration for the Minnesota Lynx in the middle of the playoffs. Reeve will serve the suspension tomorrow when the Lynx play the Mercury in Game 4 of the team's semifinal series in Phoenix. They also, by the way, find their 2 assistant coaches for a little insult to injury. Injury add an insult to the injury. Analysts noted that Reeve's suspension did not happen in a vacuum. They argued the punishment reflected deeper failures of league leadership, where ignoring coaches and players' concerns about officiating only fueled more anger. That's why she's being suspended. And I think this is a really interesting point someone made here. They said Cheyrl Reeve getting suspended isn't happening in a vacuum. This is what happens when you hire leadership from outside the league. Cathy Engelberg. Ignore the people who built it and don't listen to players. Commentators said the league allowed physicality to spiral out of control last season, especially when Caitlin Clark was targeted. Now that stars from other teams were hurt and Reeve exploded, suspensions and outrage became unavoidable. Cathy Engelberg, all of y'all played a part. Y'all was so desperate to make Clark not shine, to make Clark look so overrated that y'all didn't care if y'all even hurt her. Let's be serious. And now that it's happening to y'all team, now it's a big deal. Now it's a big deal. It should have been a big deal last season. See, here's the thing about it. Y'all let y'all pettiness get in the way. Reeve herself defended her stance after the game, calling the officiating malpractice and saying it was unfair to players like Napheesa Collier, who played through repeated hard fouls without any calls. It's bad for the game. The officiating crew that we had tonight for the leadership to deem those 3 people semifinals playoff worthy is by tree or malpractice. The official league report made clear that Reeve's suspension was for verbal abuse of referees, failure to leave the court promptly, and inappropriate fan interactions. Even so, many thought one game was not enough. And when I say out of control, Cheyrl Reeves has been out of control since when? The minute she left Caitlin Clark off Team USA. Hang with me today, folks, because it's going to get a little down dirty, a little jiggy in it. It's going to get kind of crazy because Cheyrl Reeves is doing something on the level of a moment of a hate crime, right? Is this a hate crime? Critics stressed that Reeves' punishment highlighted the WNBA's inconsistency. Suspending a coach for one game while star players kept getting injured without proper officiating made fans feel the league was losing credibility. Because the fact is, the WNBA, Cathy Engelberg, Adam Silver, the NBA, they weren't going to listen to Indiana Fever fans. They weren't going to listen to Caitlin Clark fans. Misogynist, racist, we all know everything that they have tried to do to label this fandom and discount it. Commentators suggested Reeve's suspension might ignite her team with an us against the world mentality. They compared it to how Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark played the whole season feeling targeted by the league. I can take an L with the best of them. I don't think we should have to play through more than what they did. We got players moshes on the glass and gets eye cracked. And there's no call. And all of them said, it wasn't my call. I don't know. I didn't have that. I didn't see it that way. They're awful. Fans connected Reeve's anger to what Caitlin Clark endured all season. Constant fouls without calls. They said now even star veterans were seeing the same unfair treatment that Clark faced from day one. Caitlin Clark was being treated unfair. She's not getting fouls. Now they are seeing it with some of their own players and how poor this officiating is. Observers noted fan interest was dropping fast without Caitlin Clark in the playoffs. The Reeves suspension added to frustrations with viewers saying they no longer wanted to watch the WNBA under such officiating. I've seen more people in the last 3 weeks say, I'm not watching anymore. And Cathy, guess what? We can see it. I can see it in my analytics. I can see it when I'm on a watch party for a game and there's half the amount of people in any of these streams. Anybody streams. Just think of a content creator that goes live during a Fever game, and there is half the people there was a month ago watching these in these watch parties. Now, critics argued that Kathy Angelbert spent more time monitoring Caitlin Clark's social media than fixing refereeing problems. Fans saw this as proof the league was mishandling priorities, making the Reeve suspension look hypocritical. Then she watches her damn referees. She stalks Caitlin Clark's Twitter and Instagram more. Then she watches her damn referees. It's bad business. It's nasty. Let's take a look at her deflecting. Fans pointed out that Reeve and others ignored physical targeting of Caitlin Clark last season. Now that Minnesota's own players were hurt, they suddenly complained, leading Clark's fans to say they were proven right. It's too physical. But y'all didn't care. Y'all didn't care because y'all didn't like Clark. Y'all all played a part in targeting her. Players, referees, coaches, Kathy Engelberg, all of y'all played a part. Y'all was so desperate to make Clark not shine, to make Clark look so overrated that y'all didn't care if y'all even hurt her. Reeve herself admitted in her post-game comments that officiating failed players, saying these refs were awful. Clark's supporters felt vindicated, seeing this as coaches finally echoing what they had warned all season. The league wants this. They wear this as some sort of badge of honor. And the reality is that every single fan of the sport of basketball has come in as like, this isn't basketball. Like, every single fan that comes in and watches is like, this is getting ridiculous. And by the way, a lot of people are like, oh, the Fever benefited from it. Ironically, the Fever benefited from it yesterday. It was the worst basketball game in history. Analysts stressed that suspending Cheyrl Reeve while Caitlin Clark and others were out injured showed the league's misplaced focus. Fans argued the WNBA was punishing words harder than dangerous fouls. Folks, I'm going to tell you, Cheyrl Reeves did something I have never seen done in professional sports. She just told the leadership, our leadership, you Kathy Engelbert. Now what she's holding over the top of Kathy Engelbert's head. Supporters of Clark pointed out that younger stars were watching closely. They warned that if officiating didn't change, future prospects might avoid the WNBA altogether after seeing how Clark and now Reeve were treated. Most high-profile, biggest-name coaches in this league. Both of them, by the way, checks a massively appropriate box for this damn league that seems to care more about agendas and political activism than it does basketball. But both these coaches check those boxes. The league should have suspended her longer. She absolutely should have been suspended for the remainder of the playoffs. We've been right about Caitlin Clark and the referees. I'm glad you guys are finally welcome to the party. Cheyrl Reeve, you're out of here. Total clown show. Frustration's boiling over, and the people who care the most are the ones paying the price. The league should have suspended her longer. Like, she absolutely should have been suspended for the remainder of the playoffs no matter what. We've been right about this Caitlin Clark thing, and the fouls, and the referees. I'm glad you guys are finally welcome to the party. Cheyrl Reeve, you're out of here. Total clown show. Frustration's boiling over, and the people who care the most are the ones paying the price. We're watching for Clark, bro. We're watching for Clark. If Clark could go to a better league, she'd be gone. This WNBA drama isn't slowing down. What do you think? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to keep the conversation. Subscribe and share to keep the conversation.